Jacket Hockey is on the air from Westman Arena on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior, where this afternoon the Yellow Jacket women's hockey team is still trying to find that second win of the 25-26 campaign as they play host to the UW-Stevens Point Pointers. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. I am John Garver, and yesterday afternoon in Game 1 of this weekend series between the Yellow Jackets and the Pointers, a very entertaining hockey game, and unfortunately for the Yellow Jackets, it also came with some of that familiar heartbreak. They had the elation of tying the game in the final minute on the power play goal by Anna Sherling, only to have the victory slip away from them in overtime. It was a key point for the Yellow Jackets as they were able to get a little bit more distance from fifth place Beloit in the conference standings, but unfortunately for them, the extra point went to the Pointers, and the Yellow Jackets forced to continue to endure this tough campaign that they've had and this difficult stretch that they have had here over the course of 2026 rather. A lot of good things to talk about with the Yellow Jackets yesterday. Hoping to be able to put it all together for a full 60 minutes and finally put an end to this lengthy losing streak. A lot more to come on the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. When we come back, we will take a look at what happened yesterday in that game here between the Yellow Jackets and the Pointers. We'll take a look at the starting lineups, and we'll also hear from Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon when the Yellow Jacket Hockey pregame show sponsored by National Bank of Commerce continues right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Yesterday afternoon here at Westman Arena, the Yellow Jackets falling to the Pointers 4-3 in overtime. It was actually the Yellow Jackets who opened the scoring at 11:21 of the first period. Addison Fee scoring her first collegiate goal. Gabby Olsen and Kendall Gustafson got the assist. Fee getting the puck between the circles and was able to slide a shot past goaltender Emily Grieg to give the Jackets the 1-0 lead. In the final minute of the period, Natalie Ahern scored for Stevens Point. That was at 19:39, tying the game 1-1 after one. In the second period, Stevens Point took the lead at 1:08. This is kind of a chaotic start to the second period. They took the lead at 1:08 when Claire Riesenberg scored her first goal this season. That made it a 2-1 game. Yellow Jackets came right back 39 seconds later to tie it. Ella Horning scoring her first goal as a Yellow Jacket, snapping a wrister from the high slot past goaltender Grieg. That made it 2-2 just a minute and 47 seconds into the second period. And then the Pointers took the lead right back 34 seconds after the Jackets tie it. Maddie Anderle scoring her fifth goal of the season, tying the game, or putting the Pointers back in front, by a score of 3-2. Stayed that way until the final minute of regulation when Anna Sherling scored her fourth goal of the season on the power plays. The Yellow Jackets got the puck moving around real good. Had the extra attacker on, too, so it was a two-player advantage for them. Sherling scored her fourth from Taylor Marks and Ella Horning, tying the game at 3 in the final minute. Then the Jackets won the opening faceoff of the overtime, and Anna Sherling kind of broke away from the traffic on the left wing boards, cut to the net, did a little stick handling move, tried to pull it from forehand to backhand, ended up losing the puck. talking to Coach after the game, I said, I would have rather have seen her shoot there because there's snow built up in there, and it's tough to make a stick handling move when you're in that tight and there's that kind of snow in there. And she said, I actually told her to try to make a move because shooting the puck, she was taking a lot of the shots away, so a stick handling move there would have been a good thing. So I stand corrected on what I said. Coach knows best, obviously. And then Stevens Point came back down at 129. Anderle scoring her second of the game, sixth of the season, getting a puck in the slot and wiring a shot up high past goaltender Jada Moyer, giving the Pointers the 4-3 win. Yellow Jackets outshot in the contest. 30. Actually, Yellow Jackets outshooting Stevens Point, 37-35. Setting the stage for Game 2 of this series here this afternoon. Only other game in the WIAC today is going to come this evening down at Hunt Arena in River Falls. River Falls playing host to UW Eau Claire. Let's take a look at the starting lineups quickly in this one for the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be Jada Moyer getting the starting goal, a 5'5" freshman from Albert Lea, Minnesota, making her 14th appearance on the season. She's 0-12 as a 3.72 goals against average and a .906 save percentage. Starting five in front of her, the defense pair, Stacy Steiner and Brooke Bugas. And the forward line has Ashton Parnell with Maya Anderson on the left wing and Eiley Dahl on the right. For Stevens Point, Ann Beck is going to get the starting goal. She is Annie Beck, a 5'9" junior from Granville, Michigan, making her 11th appearance on the season. She is 4-5, has a 3.29 goals against average and a .924 save percentage. The starting five in front of her, the defense pair, Alyssa Yoakum and Grace Torma, and the forward line, Riley Novak centering Maddie Anderle and Natalie Ahern. And those are your starters in this one. About 7.5 minutes away from the drop of the puck between the Yellow Jackets and the Pointers. We'll take a quick timeout and come back. Have our conversation with Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. What? Sponsored by National Bank of Commerce. It's Saturday afternoon and the Yellow Jackets back home. Game 2 of their weekend series against UW Stevens Point. I am John Garber and we're joined by Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon. And I know you don't want to hear this, but it's not the first time I've said this to you. Your team deserved better yesterday. Your team played a really good hockey game.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. But we have to kind of flush it down the toilet and be ready to go for today.
It's been a real struggle for your team to score goals, obviously, all year long. We've talked about that. I think every single one of these we've done, probably even more disheartening because you got 3 yesterday. It's only happened 4 times this year we've scored that many goals, and when you get to that point, that's kind of one you got to have.
Yeah, for sure. Proud that Addie Fee got on the board, though. Hopefully that will open the floodgates for her to start scoring because she's a good player, and she can. She just was kind of snake bitten for, majority of the season. So hopefully good things from her from now on. But Yeah, I mean, it's also just bearing down and wanting to do the little things, and that comes with going in front of the net and causing chaos, and that's how you score goals. It's not going to be the pretty plays, so that's what we have to do tonight again.
I'm glad you used the phrase pretty plays, and anybody who's listened to me call the men's games knows that the phrase gritty not pretty is something that I've used more than once, and his group has a tendency to kind of try to make the pretty play too much. How do you pull your team out of that and go, no, the gritty part, this is how you score goals. The greasy goals are the ones that are going to get you over the hump and kind of put things in a new direction.
Yeah, it's just being simple. It's not overcomplicating the game or our systems. We run the most basic of basic systems, and again, it's winning your small battles, including, getting shots through at the point, having girls in front, screening, tipping, getting beat up in front. That's how you score goals, and that's how you beat teams like Stevens Point when they're very similar. Like I said yesterday in the interview, and I said yesterday to the girls, it comes down to the little things and the little battles and little wins that we need to take to grow our game a little bit more. But yeah, it's ultimately just coming down to being in front and being gritty and not being afraid to get hit and take some hits, and because that's what's going to win us hockey games eventually.
You talked about Addie getting her first collegiate goal. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Anna Schirling was fantastic yesterday.
Yeah, she was unbelievable yesterday. Probably one of her best games that I've seen her play in the last 2 years. Really unfortunate that she did not get a goal. I feel really bad for her. She, at the end of the game, was very upset with herself and knows that being a leader and a senior and having those opportunities, she knows that she needs to score. But can't be mad at a girl when she's working her butt off and she's in the right spots and she's getting the chances. So hopefully tonight she'll get a few.
She was a really good driver for that whole line too, because that line, I saw you start to roll them out a little bit more often, because every time they were on the ice, something was happening and they were coming close.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think those three work really well together. Having a vet that has played as many games as Anna has, and then having the two freshmen in there to take her lead, I think really helps, and that's exactly why Addie got her goal yesterday. Was simple hockey. We had too hard on the puck, and Addie was in a good spot, and it was a nice gritty goal, like I just said. So they balance each other out really, really well.
When offense is tough to come by, sometimes you maybe have to tweak some things, maybe take some chances you're not going to take. They're a team that is susceptible when they're on the power play to giving up the shorty. Do you maybe try to take a couple chances when you are a player down?
Yes and no. I think it's going to be who's on the ice for those specific things. Our kill has been very, very well right now, so I honestly don't really want to change much on our kill. A goal shorthanded is obviously a bonus, but we just need to play simple hockey today again and do the little things.
Going back to Jada and goal?
Yes, we are.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yellow Jacket head coach Bree Simon should clarify, too, when she said that she felt bad that Anna Schirling didn't get a goal. Anna Schirling did score the tying goal in the third period. She's referring to that rush at the beginning of the overtime where she did not end up scoring. Yellow Jackets attacking from left to right here in this first period, and the opening faceoff is sponsored by Barker's Island Inn, Northern Wisconsin's Island Getaway. The puck is behind the Stevens Point net right now. Jackets digging away. Maya Anderson along the end boards. Has Alyssa Yoakum from Stevens Point tied up there. Now the puck is going to come free, and Riley Novak carries up the left wing boards. Jackets break it up. Eiley Dahl pushes it down the right wing side. Ashton Parnell had it poke checked off her stick, and back the other way now come the Pointers. Jackets break it up again in the neutral zone, and it's going to be taken here by Addison Fee. Now the Jackets move it back to neutral ice. Parnell plays it to the Stevens Point line. Broken up there. In the neutral zone now, Kendall Gustafson for the Jackets had it roll right off the end of her stick, and the Pointers are going to come back the other way across the Yellow Jacket line. A shot taken from the right circle, sticked away by Jada Moyer. Now the Pointers have it again. Jenna Britz in the right circle, throws that into the slot looking for Molly Polkamp, but that hits a skate. Now the puck comes to the front of the Yellow Jacket net, taken away there by Ashton Parnell, still on the ice from that opening shift. She went up the right side with it to Gustafson, but it's not going to go. Now Britz for Stevens Point, has it along the end boards. She leaves it down low for Abby Skelly. Skelly tied up by Brooke Bugas. Finally, the puck is worked free, and the Pointers come out with it. They play it in the high slot. Addison Fee intercepts there. She carries to the neutral zone. Gets across the red line, and she'll backhand that down into Stevens Point territory. Yellow Jackets will trigger a line change here. As they move it ahead, Stevens Point does on the left wing for Britz. Her pass is going to be intercepted by Avery Olenek. Now Stevens Point regaining control. Kendall Rickley has it here. Rickley for Stevens Point. Gets it on the backhand, and she'll throw that down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Jackets quickly in transition back the other way. And the Pointers will send it back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Riley Avalar chasing it down for the Jackets. Plays it behind the net for Veda Roski. Up the left wing to Avery Olenek, whose pass is intercepted. Roski regaining control for the Yellow Jackets here. She'll back it up. Now she'll come back out the left wing side with it here. Throws it ahead on the left wing. Avery Olenek got a stick on it, but unfortunately for her, she was on her side of center. And that's going to be an icing call. And the faceoff will come all the way back down in the Yellow Jacket zone. 17:43 to play here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point scoreless from Westman Arena in Superior. John Garver with you here on this Saturday afternoon. Just getting things cranked up here. Quick shot off the faceoff by Anderle is going to hit a leg and end up behind the Yellow Jacket net. Now they come out of the left corner. Shot taken left circle by Ahern's going to miss wide. On the left wing, Avery Olenek for the Yellow Jackets gets it to the line, but not out. Stevens Point continues to pressure with Anderle on the right side. She gets knocked off the play. Pointers regain control of the puck, however, and it's going to be pushed by Ahern into the right wing corner. Anderle's got it there for Stevens Point, gives it to Ahern. Now the puck again to Anderle on the right wing board, She tried to cut to the net. Yellow Jackets able to break that one up. Extended D-zone time for the Yellow Jackets here in the early stages of the first period. Veda Roski behind the net. She's going to come away with it here and carry it up ice. She cuts to her left, has a poke checked off her stick, and now Abby Skelly will send it back down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Aislinn Carrick along the end board. Loses control of the puck, and the Pointers come away with it. This is Jenna Britz on the backhand from the left circle, and the save is made by Moyer. Puck into the right wing corner. Aislinn Carrick was having her stick held, so she couldn't quite get to that puck in the time that she wanted to. Gabby Olsen for Superior. Backhand pass over to the right wing. Jalen Wharton got it to the red line, but no further, and the Pointers come back on the attack. Molly Polkamp carries it behind the Yellow Jacket net. Throws it right up the slot, and that's going to be, I thought it could be intercepted, but Aspen Lukazik didn't know the puck was coming her way. Now Gabby Olsen blocks a shot that comes in from the left point. Puck is moved back behind the Yellow Jacket net. Ice has been a bit tilted here in the early going. Taylor Marks works it free, plays it up the left wing boards. Lukazik has to tie up the defender. Stevens Point gets it right back. Riestenberg from the right corner tried to center. That one's blocked. And the Yellow Jackets are going to be content to just take the reset here as Gabby Olsen sends that all the way down. And it's going to be icing. The face-off will come all the way back down in the Yellow Jacket zone. So really good opening 5 minutes here. Or 4+ minutes, I should say, for Stevens Point. As they've been able to pin the Yellow Jackets in their own zone for the bulk of the game so far. The Jackets have been playing a little bit of a lot of puck chasing right now, trying to regain control of things and get out of their own zone a little bit. On the right wing boards. Wharton tried to clear, but it's driven back down behind the net where Taylor Marks picks it up. Marks starts it up ice for the Yellow Jackets. Passes that one ahead to center. Forward line went off for a change, so the Pointers will intercept and come right back the other way. Anderle across the line takes a shot. Glove save made by Moyer. Puck looked like it was going to skip wide of the net. Moyer elects to grab that one and hold on. And we'll have a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone to Moyer's right. 15:15 to go in this opening period. No score. Stacy Steiner for the Yellow Jackets will come out the left side with it here. Throws the backhand up the left wing. That's behind Maya Anderson and will come all the way down the ice. And that will be icing. but definitely not seeing the start that Coach Simon wanted. Nowhere near the start that we saw yesterday afternoon. Jackets appear to be a little on the flat side here in the early going. Parnell for the Yellow Jackets feeds it up the right wing. Eiley Dahl has it there. Then it's poked off her stick at the red line and sent right back in. Steiner up the right wing for Dahl. Tough pass for her to handle. Now it's tied up on the boards again. Parnell able to dig it free. Plays it over on the left wing side. Brooke Bugas will poke it down into the left wing corner, Stevens Point zone. Pointers will quickly come back the other way. Riley Novak plays that up the right wing boards, and it comes loose in the neutral zone. Jackets regain control, however. This is Gustafson feeding it into the middle for Anna Sherling. She drives at the net, takes it to the backhand, the shot save. Rebound is right there for Gustafson, and Beck makes another save. As the Yellow Jackets get the play or the turnover in the neutral zone, with a golden opportunity on the doorstep by Anna Sherling that got turned aside, and then Kendall Gustafson absolutely robbed on the rebound. Keeps this thing scoreless with 14-12 remaining in the first. Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Annie Beck. Jackets win the draw. Fee, right circle, turns, fires, shot tipped in front. The save is made by Beck. And the Pointers will pick up the loose puck and come back the other direction. They cross the Yellow Jacket line. Left wing, this is Skelly with a rising shot from the left circle that misses high. Clearing attempt is held in. Now Roski for the Yellow Jackets had it. Pokes that one up the boards. Anna Sherling's got it out into the neutral zone now. Puck comes over to the right wing, and Kendall Gustafson will chip that one down into the Stevens Point zone. Yellow Jackets will change personnel here as the puck comes out to center. Kovala for the Yellow Jackets moved it over for Horning on the right, but she overskates. Puck all the way up to the blue line now. The shot by Neist is going to go wide of the mark. Britz has it here for the Pointers. She carries all the way to the high slot, takes a shot, tipped in front, and that one just misses wide left. Now Horning's got it for the Yellow Jackets. Scored her first collegiate goal yesterday as she comes into the Stevens Point zone, coughs it up just inside the line. Pointers come back the other way with speed. Across the Yellow Jacket line. Regan from the left circle, shot blocked. Big collision in the left circle, sees a player from each team end up on the ice. Taylor Marks picks up the loose puck behind the goal, and it's going to be played ahead to center. Horning up the left wing, one-on-one across the Stevens Point line, tried to drag it and then take the shot through the screen, but has it poked off her stick, and back the other way now come the Pointers. Long shot from just inside the line by Rickley is going to be stopped and held. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 12:38 remaining here in this opening period. Shots 3-2 Yellow Jackets, despite what the scoreboard is telling us. Pointers drive it to the left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Comes all the way up to the blue line before it's played back down the boards. Jackets regaining control now, unable to clear Parnell. Behind the goal, Bugas for the Yellow Jackets has it. Gives to Ashton Parnell. She cuts it to the middle now and picks up speed as she comes to center. She gets away from traffic now across the line, takes it to the backhand. The shot, Beck makes the save. And Beck will cover and hold on to that. So we'll have a face-off coming up here. To the right of goaltender Annie Beck, who we mentioned is a junior from Granville, Michigan, making her 11th appearance on the season. That is the most among the Stevens Point 3 goaltenders, all of which have played at least 5 games on the campaign. Britz inside the Yellow Jacket blue line, has it poked off her stick. Gabby Olsen moves it behind her net. Avalar has it there. Now she'll bank it off the wall for Roski. Roski up for Wharton on the right wing. She crosses the red and dumps it in. Lukazic giving chase for the Yellow Jackets. Neist gets there first. Now Lukazic comes out with it out of the right wing corner, carries it up to the line. Throws a pass on the backhand over to Roski. Roski moves it to the front of the net. Unable to get a stick on it there was Wharton, who was tied up by the defense. And Stevens Point will clear that back out into the neutral zone. Wharton on the right wing. Gets crunched as she dumps it in, and that's going to be a penalty on Stevens Point. And just as they did yesterday, the Yellow Jackets are going to get the first power play of the hockey game. Time of the penalty is going to be 8:40 of the opening period. Gianna Neist going to the box for Stevens Point. 2 minutes for checking. This power play for the Yellow Jackets, their first of the game, sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable Superior. That's SWLP. Yellow Jackets on the power play, 7.9% on the season. Horning's got it in the high slot, loads up the wrister, and the shot gets blocked in front by Yoakum. Puck caroms to the left wing corner. Clearing attempt by Ahern's not going to go. Now Sherling at the right point. Into the high slot for Taylor Marks. Over now left side. Back up top for Marks. Walks, takes the shot. That catches traffic in front, and the Pointers are going to clear that out. Jackets regrouping inside their own line. Taylor Marks picking up speed. Marks up the left wing. Crosses the Stevens Point line. Carries it to the left circle. Now she'll curl it back. Leaving it for Kendall Gustafson. Back to Marks, top of the left circle. At the right point, Sherling. Back over to Marks in the left circle. No options for her. Big pile of traffic in front. There were 5 players standing at the top of the goal crease. Now the shot gets through, and the save is made by Beck, and then she'll cover. And we're going to get a face-off in the Stevens Point zone with exactly 1 minute to go in the Yellow Jacket power play. 10 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. In this opening period, no score. Jackets controlling it in the offensive zone. Olenek slides that over to the left side. Steiner, right circle. Olenek takes the shot. That's going to be deflected wide. Now the puck comes over to the right wing side again. Left circle, Fee. Comes back up top to Steiner. Shot's going to be taken. That's going to sneak through. Steiner up top again. Takes a shot. That hits traffic in front. It comes over now to the right side. Up top, Steiner. Over now, left circle. Addison Fee takes the shot. That's going to get blocked in front. 10 seconds left in the power play, and the Pointers are going to control it and send it all the way down the ice. Up the left wing side. Avery Olenek across the Stevens Point line. Penalized player back on, so we're back to 5-on-5. Addison Fee now. She gets knocked off her skates. Puck is picked up, and the Pointers clear it back to neutral ice. Anna Sherling for the Yellow Jackets sends it into the Stevens Point zone. Puck's going to come back the other way. Icing is going to be... Oh, they're going to call the icing there. I was kind of expecting them to not call the icing, but they do, so it's going to be a face-off coming back here. In the Stevens Point zone. The officials are trying to communicate something. I think they're saying the clock is off. Not exactly sure what... It's not like basketball where they do the occasional shot clock reset or anything like that. Face-off controlled by the Pointers. They're going to clear it to the line now, and a 2-on-1 developing as they come across the Yellow Jacket line. Puck fed to the front, redirected by Avery Engbrecht on the rush, and Moyer is able to make the save. Jackets back the other way. Parnell in the neutral zone now. Has her pocket picked on the back check. And it's going to be cleared back down into the Yellow Jacket zone, and that is going to be icing. 8:34 remaining here in this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point scoreless. Face-off will be to the left of Beck. Jackets controlling it here. Wharton on the right wing, trying to push it to the corner. That gets blocked. Gabby Olsen gets a stick on it and pushes it down low. Now the pass behind the net picked off. Wharton gives it to Lukazic. Aspen Lukazic plays that up top. Shot from the point gets through by Marks, and the save is made by Beck. Rebound ends up behind the goal now. And the Pointers come out with it here. This is Torma. Grace Torma passes that one ahead. 2-on-1 again here for the Pointers. Shot taken from the right circle. That one from Kaya Johnson, and the save is made by Moyer. She will hold on, and a face-off coming here in the Yellow Jacket zone. Fans, if you can't get enough of the Yellow Jackets, then tune in to Eye of the Swarm, the official podcast of Yellow Jacket Athletics. Join the big sound Matt Johnson and me throughout the year as we sit down with Yellow Jacket student athletes, coaches, and other guests. Eye of the Swarm is available at uwsyellowjackets.com/podcast on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts. Latest episode dropping this week, featuring Sam Ramutis, the first-year head coach of the men's club hockey team here at UW Superior. How you doing, Teddy?
Good.
My almost 7-year-old son, Teddy, is joining me in the press box today. Just made his mic live for the first time. There you go. You're speaking on the radio, buddy.
Yep, so
Here comes the analysis.
I'm just here with my dad.
What have you seen so far? Some good skating?
Yeah,
Couple of good chances?
yeah,
Some good goaltending?
yeah.
That is expert analysis, buddy.
Because it was a good goaltending for the Pointers.
Yeah, she made a couple good saves there.
Yeah. And the Jackets had that good too because they were right there. And that was a great save. Tom?
Pointers controlling the face-off here. The Yellow Jackets get it to the line. Anderson loses the lumber. The puck stays in the zone. A shot from the right side. Taken there by Riley Novak, and that's going to go off the outside of the Yellow Jacket net. Now the puck is going to be played up the boards, but not out. In the right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. It's going to be dug free by Anderle. Now it's going to be played back around. Centering pass from the right wing by Neist is broken up. Yellow Jackets finally able to break it out of the zone. And it's going to be moved ahead now. Maya Anderson across the Stevens Point line. Just trying to drive it to the net, but lost her footing in the act of shooting. And back the other way now, the Pointers on the rush. Natalie Ahern 1-on-3 as the Pointers and Yellow Jackets are each changing here. In the Yellow Jacket zone, it's played by Bugas up the right wing board, but not out. Now they'll try the left wing side into the middle, and Kovala will exit the zone as we pass the 13-minute mark of this opening period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point scoreless from Westman Arena in Superior. John Garver with you here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV. Shot from the left point, tipped in front, stick save made by Moyer. Now Bugas clears and puts it right into the slot where it's picked off here by Britz. She takes the shot in on goal. The save made. The puck is underneath Stacy Steiner at the top of the goal crease, and now it's worked free. Up to the left point it goes. Arneson moves it into the slot. Jackets can't clear. Comes free to Polkamp in the right circle. Her shot gets blocked. Top scorer for the Pointers. She did get an assist yesterday. The Jackets, by and large, were able to limit her opportunities in the offensive zone. Now at center, Horning for the Yellow Jackets. Carries it into Stevens Point territory. Bounces off a check. Sharp angle shot goes off the outside of the net. It's going to be played back up to the line. Now coming down low, Sherling from the right corner drives the net, and Beck's going to make the save. She will hold on. And the face-off coming up here once again in the Stevens Point zone. 5:46 to play. Face-off gets past Avalar and comes all the way out into the neutral zone. It's Played back up the middle, and Sherling tips it into Stevens Point territory. She ties up the defender behind the net. The puck's free in the left corner. Sherling's got it. Moves it up to the left point. Roski, that shot tipped in front and goes wide. Now Fee picks it up. She's got it on the right wing board. In to help out Gustafson. She'll move it up to the right point. Avalar back down the boards here for Fee. Now behind the net, Sherling. Pass out front. Finds Gustafson right circle. Right point, Avalar, a shot that's going to miss wide of the mark. Puck is going to come to Riestenberg on the right wing. That's cleared out to center. Yellow Jackets dump it back in and head off with the change. With 5 minutes remaining here in this first period, no score. Yoakum sends it in for the neutral zone. Moyer handcuffed a little bit on that one, makes the save, and then the rebound is picked up by Marks, and she'll start the rush back the other direction. Marks across the Stevens Point line, loses the puck at the last minute, and that will slowly slide in on net. Covered up there by Beck.
The Jackets did have a good power play chance there.
Except it's not a power play, buddy.
Yeah, but they did when they did have the power play.
That's true, they did. They had a couple good chances on that power play.
Yeah.
Pointers controlling it here in their own zone. It's going to be in the right wing corner. Now it's going to come back up the boards. Sent over to the right wing side as the Pointers cross the Yellow Jacket line. A shot coming in from the angle by Anderle, sticked away by Moyer. Yellow Jackets regaining control here now. Parnell up the right wing for Eiley Dahl. Dahl stood up at the Stevens Point line, losing the puck. And Anderle will pick it back up at neutral. Sends it over on the right wing, just out of the reach of Ahern. Excuse me, Ahern, rather. And Parnell will start it back the other way. Parnell across the Stevens Point line. Takes a shot that gets blocked. 7 blocks here for the Pointers thus far. Jackets win the draw. Shot by Bugas at the left point block. Shot by Horning in the left circle. Stick save by Beck. Horning's got it. Sharp angle shot from the left side. Goes off the outside of the Stevens Point goal. And then we're going to get a stoppage as the puck gets caught up on the back of the net. And we'll have a face-off here once again in the Stevens Point zone as we are down to 3:42 remaining in this first period. Face-off controlled here by the Pointers. Yoakum's got it. She's going to move it up the ice. Steiner breaks it up in the neutral zone. Olenek on the left wing goes to dump it in. Hits the linesman. It comes right back to her. Then she's taken down. Penalty coming. It's going to be on Stevens Point. And the Yellow Jackets are going to go back to the power play. Second time here in the hockey game. Time of that penalty is 16:33. Grace Torma to the box for tripping. Yellow Jacket Power Play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable Superior. Anna Sherling at the right point, carries it all the way over to the left side. Now she drops it in the slot. Marks fakes the shot. Horning right circle, a shot and a stick save made by Beck. Sherling picks up the loose puck on the right wing boards. Moves it up to the right point. Horning walks it down, cuts it into the high slot, fires. That catches traffic in front. Sherling picks it up again. She's got it behind the Stevens Point net. Passes over and out into the left wing corner for Gustafson. Up top for Marks. Marks weaving through traffic. Dishes off for Horning left side. Back up top for Marks. Walks, fires, pad save made. Rebound Horning from the left circle. A shot and Beck makes the save there. Now Sherling in the right wing corner. Comes out with it, right circle, fires and scores! Power play goal for Anna Sherling and the Jackets lead. Fifth goal of the season for Anna Sherling. Some really good puck movement by the Yellow Jackets on that power play. She came out of the right corner with it, got it in the right circle, and snaps the puck between the pads of Annie Beck. And with 2:40 to go here in the first period, it's 1-0 Yellow Jackets. On the right wing board, Eiley Dahl sends it into the Stevens Point zone, picked up behind the net by Regan.
On the power play was number 13, Anna Scherling. She's assisted by number 18, Kendall Gustafson. That's Scherling on the power play goal.
So Gustafson getting the assist, and we got a penalty coming here. It's going to be on Stevens Point again as they took down Veda Roski in the defensive zone. Up the right side, it's dumped in by Eiley Dahl. And we get the stoppage in play, and the Yellow Jackets about to go right back on the power play for the third time in this period. As going to the box is Abby Skelly. I believe it's Skelly. It is indeed Skelly to the penalty box. Did not see what the signal was on that penalty. I believe checking. Tripping is the penalty call. My apologies. So the Yellow Jackets on the power play for the third time. They're 1 for 2. This power play is sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable Superior. Puck is in the right wing corner. Now it comes back behind the Stevens Point net. Picked up there by Grace Torma. And then the clearing attempt goes over the glass and out of play. Jackets win the face-off, and then we get a immediate stoppage. False start on that one, so they'll do it again. Centers tie up. Horning digs the puck out. Then her pass hits the referee in the skate, but Horning able to recover. Taylor Marks over to Scherling, right circle. Gets around one, takes the shot, and it hits traffic in front and goes over the top of the goal. Now it comes down behind the Stevens Point net. Jackets in there working for it. Unfortunately for them, it's going to come out on the stick of Riley Novak. She'll send it all the way down the ice. Yellow Jackets are going to be forced to regroup here with 1:10 to go in the penalty and the period. On the right side, Scherling across the line. Takes a shot, right circle. Save is made by Beck. Rebound is loose. It comes over to the right wing corner, just out of the reach of Horning. And that's going to be cleared all the way down the ice as we dip underneath a minute to go here in the first period. Jackets have to wait to touch up the puck as they were in the midst of the line change there. Now they turn it over. 2-1, shorthanded across the line. Polkep a shot, and Moyer makes the save. Top scorer for Stevens Point on the breakaway. And the Yellow Jacket freshman goaltender gets it done. Up the left wing board, Steiner. Turns it over just inside the Stevens Point line. Anderle has got it, and she'll dump it down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Moyer out of the net, sets it up. Circling the goal and starting up ice. Avery Olenek. Now for Addison Fee. He comes back down behind the Yellow Jacket net, excuse me. Now it comes back down. I guess stoppage in play. And the buzzer sounds with a quick shot off the face-off. And the first period comes to a close. It's a good opening period for the Yellow Jackets here tonight. They get a goal on the power play late, and they go to the locker room with a 1-0 lead after one. We'll take a break and come back with our first intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena. It's our first intermission, and as always, the first intermission is sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. It comes following a 1-0 lead for the Yellow Jackets, as they had a bit of a slow start to the period. They came out a little bit on the flat side, spent the bulk of the first 5 minutes defending and chasing the puck around their own zone, and then as the period got going a little bit, the Jackets found their footing and were able to generate a lot of opportunities in the offensive zone. And the play that kind of was able to flip the switch for the Yellow Jackets came when Anna Scherling had the partial breakaway. She got in tight and took it to the back end and got stopped. And then Kendall Gustafson got stopped on the rebound shot. But after that point, the Yellow Jackets kind of got their footing. They started moving their feet a little bit. They started drawing penalties. They had 3 power plays in the first period. And the bulk of the play following that one rush ended up being in the offensive zone. The first power play came and went, but on the second power play, the Yellow Jackets were able to hit pay dirt. Kendall Gustafson had it on the left side, moved it behind the net. Anna Scherling picked it up right corner. And then she worked her way out of the corner into the right circle and took a shot that beat goaltender for Annie Beck of Stevens Point between the pads. It was her 5th goal of the season. Gustafson got the assist. And that made it 1-0 Yellow Jackets. Then 40 seconds later, they went back on the power play. Had a couple of really good opportunities in that advantage as well, but Stevens Point was up to the task. Shots in the first period, the Yellow Jackets had 16, while Stevens Point had 9. Half of the shots for the Yellow Jackets in that first period came while they were on the power play. So power play is definitely moving the puck well and is definitely doing a good job of generating some of that offense that the Yellow Jackets have been lacking here throughout the campaign. Jada Moyer, 9 saves and goal for the Yellow Jackets, while Annie Beck turned away 15 shots for UW Stevens Point. 3 penalties on the Pointers in the first period. No penalties were assessed to the Yellow Jackets in that opening frame. And Anna Scherling leading the charge with 5 shots on goal in that first period. So a third of the shots for the Yellow Jackets today coming courtesy of the Yellow Jackets senior. And that line of Addison Fee, Kendall Gustafson, and Anna Scherling accounting for half of the Yellow Jackets' 16 shots on net. So it was a good opening 20 for the Yellow Jackets. I should say a good opening 15. The first 5, not so much, but after that opening 5 minutes, the Yellow Jackets were able to generate quite a bit of offense and hopefully something to build on here that they can take over into the second period. Teddy, how is Shoot for Loot?
Good.
At Westman Arena, Yellow Jackets have a 1-0 lead. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our intermission programming sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We return to Westman Arena. It's our first intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. The Yellow Jackets with a 1-0 lead over UW-Stevens Point. Courtesy of Anna Scherling's 5th goal of the season on the power play at the 17:20 mark of the first period. The Yellow Jackets haven't spent a lot of time playing with the lead this season. We talked a little bit with the coaches before the game, before we did the pregame interview, and I brought up that the Yellow Jackets getting the lead yesterday. They scored the first goal in the contest with the Pointers yesterday afternoon, and it was the first time they had a lead since they played UW-Eau Claire back in early December. So it had been a really long time that since the Yellow Jackets had played hockey with a lead, and it was good for them to experience that, and good for them to not have to chase the game as much as they had been. And I know they're kind of hoping that it was something for them to build off of here in these final few games of the regular season. The Yellow Jackets home here today. Then they're off for a couple of weeks. And then on February 20th and 21st, they will close out the regular season here at home with a 2-game series against Beloit. I believe Friday is a 7 o'clock start, and then Saturday is a 2 o'clock contest. And we'll have to determine which of those. I believe the Friday game is slated to be live on 91.3 KUWS as well as Yellow Jacket TV. But the Saturday game, I think, is to be determined depending on what's going to happen with the Yellow Jacket men's hockey team, which is going through a bit of a rough patch here. They went into the semester break and came out of the semester break winning some games. Actually had a 6-game win streak. Unfortunately, all the good stuff has kind of gone by the boards here recently, because now they're on a 5-game winless skid, having lost a pair of games, got a tie in there, and then lost a couple more, including last night's game here against UW Stout, a game that the Yellow Jackets scored first in and got a shorthanded goal and a lot of momentum late in that first period. Unfortunately, as Coach McKenna likes to say, the controller came unplugged. And the controller was unplugged for about a 6-minute stretch in the second period, and that ended up deciding the game. And we'll talk about that with him in the pregame show tonight, as it'll be the second game of our hockey doubleheader here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV. 7:05 face-off, 6:30 pregame show between the Yellow Jackets and UW Stout. Teddy, you were at the game last night.
Yeah.
What was the best part for you, probably playing during the first intermission?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Having a hat trick.
You're having a hat trick?
Yeah.
I thought you said you scored 5.
Yeah, but I scored a hat trick.
True. You almost had a double, huh?
Yeah, just had to get one more. It's all about the fun, but the other team did win. But I just told my friend, all about fun, not about winning. Just fun.
It's all ironic that you say that, too, because I don't know too many guys that are as obsessed with winning as you seem to be.
And
so, I'm glad you had fun.
Joy and having a good time.
Joy and having a good time. I like that a lot, buddy. So you had 5 goals in the game?
Yes.
And the game lasted about 6 or 7 minutes, so that's a pretty good clip. Seemed like you were scoring a lot.
Yeah.
And you had a good time with it.
Yeah, there was we were losing 4-0. And then I got one, and then they scored one, and then I scored another, then they scored one. But then I just scored 4. We had 4 goals.
Go ahead.
4-6.
Mm-hmm.
So there was 2 seconds left on the clock. So the clock was ticking, and I really wanted our team to get some more goals, so fired one downtown, half ice, and then it went in.
I got to tell you that if you have an opportunity, folks, go back onto YouTube and find the UWS Athletics channel on YouTube and find the game from last night between the Yellow Jacket men and UW Stout and watch the first intermission. It's a lot of fun when we have a chance to watch all these little kids out here having an opportunity to play on the sheet that the big players are on and getting the opportunity to play in front of some fans. And the youth games are always an absolute blast, and more so for me now because it's a group that I am helping to coach with, and also getting to watch my own son play in there. So.
Yeah, so it is good when. So it is nice to have my dad. So I'm on Team White, and my dad is my coach.
There we go. There we go. We're about just under 4 minutes away from the start of the second period.
Yep. 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yellow Jackets with a 1-0 lead over Stevens Point. We'll take a quick break and come back with a drop of the puck in the second period right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Back here at Westman Arena, 100 seconds away from the start of period number 2. The Yellow Jackets with a 1-0 lead over UW Stevens Point, courtesy of Anna Sherling's 5th goal of the season. That came on the power play at the 17:20 mark of this opening period. Second goal of the weekend for Anna Sherling. We put her in the spotlight during the pregame interview with Coach Simon because she had a tremendous game yesterday afternoon and, of course, got that tying goal in the final minute of regulation to send the game into overtime and had that golden opportunity in the extra session, only to have the puck kick off her stick and go wide of the goal. But she is leading the charge here again on this Saturday afternoon as the Yellow Jackets look for their first victory in a long time. You got to go all the way back to November 21st to find the last time the Yellow Jackets picked up a victory. It's been a very trying year for this youthful Yellow Jacket team.
The thing that I did want to talk about their good power play opportunity that they got to score.
Okay, talk about it, Teddy.
So they had a good power play and they could get it in front of the net. So just got it in.
They had a couple of good looks on their first power play. They converted on the second and had a couple more really good chances on the third power play as well. So the power play working for Coach Simon and the Yellow Jackets here. But right now, we will not have power play action. We've got a fresh 20 minutes on the clock. 5-on-5 hockey to start period number 2. Yellow Jackets in the gold sweaters with the black trim will be going from right to left here in the middle frame as it's controlled by the Jackets. Brooke Bugas will dump it down. It comes behind the Stevens Point net, rather. Yoakum is able to sidestep the check. And the Pointers come back quickly to center. If they can hustle, they got themselves a 2-on-1. Riley Novak right circle a shot. That's kicked away by Jada Moyer. Now it comes to Yoakum at the left point. A shot that gets through. Stick save made by Jada Moyer. Ashton Parnell will pick it up for the Yellow Jackets. She has it behind her net. Stick handles away from a couple of checkers and sends a pass over to the left wing. It's behind Maya Anderson. And Grace Torma for Stevens Point fires it back into the Yellow Jacket zone. So a carbon copy of the opening minute of the first period when the Jackets were hemmed in their own zone and spent the bulk of the first 5 minutes there. A little more dangerous in the second period because you had that long change to worry about. There's a turnover now. Molly Polkamp for Stevens Point. Right circle mishandles. And the Jackets are finally going to get it to the line, but again, can't clear it out of the zone. Polkamp has it right circle now. Carries to her forehand. Drops it off. Skelly with a shot. That one's blocked by Stacy Steiner, and it's underneath her. And then Skelly puts the stick on her and kind of pushes her into the end boards, much to the chagrin of the Yellow Jackets sophomore defender. Finally a stoppage in play, allowing the Jackets to get that line that started the period off the ice. Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Jada Moyer. 18:53 to play second period. 1-0. Yellow Jackets in front. Veda Roski now. Her pass is broken up. It comes along to Skelly behind the net. Skelly muscled off the puck by Roski, who passes up the left wing. Sherling now cuts it to the middle and picks up speed as the Jackets go into a 3-on-2 across the Stevens Point line. Sherling drops it. Gustafson a shot right circle, and Annie Beck makes the save for the Pointers. Dropping the glove down and covering it up. And once again, this line for the Yellow Jackets driving the offense. And the charge is being led by Anna Sherling, who has been tremendous the last few games and had arguably her best game of the season yesterday afternoon, picking up right where she left off. Avalar at the right point. Sends it around the boards. It comes to the right wing corner. Gustafson's there. Excuse me, that's Sherling, rather. Puck is dug free by Addison Fee on the left wing boards. The freshman out of Crookston, Minnesota, falls down. Puck underneath her, and she was able to get it free, sending it up to Avalar. Now into the slot. Sherling, the shot, the save made by Beck. Rebound is there, and it's tipped over the top of the net by Fee. Now on the right wing side, Sherling again gives to Gustafson. Her pass up to the blue line, bounces over the stick of Riley Avalar. And Avalar able to prevent the Stevens Point player from going in alone on goaltender Jada Moyer. Now Roski behind the net has it for the Yellow Jackets here, and she'll play it up the left wing boards. Puck comes right back to her, and then she sends it into Stevens Point territory. Carrying it back behind the net now is Skylar Arneson. Arneson plays it around into the neutral zone. Jackets get it back. Roski passes it ahead at center. Now over to Horning in the left circle. The shot and the save made by Beck. Avery Olenek for the Jackets has it behind the Stevens Point goal. Gets it to Kovala. Kasha Kovala, right wing corner. Plays it back behind the Stevens Point net. A little miscommunication between the Yellow Jacket forwards there, and the puck is going to come back out to center. Going to get dumped down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Taylor Marks has it. She's being pressured behind the net by Ahern from Stevens Point. Now a centering pass comes up the slot. Jackets had a chance to get out, but they whiffed on it as Horning had to go between her skates. Left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Marks banks it off the end boards. It's going to come free to Veda Roski now. Roski passes it ahead to center. Olenek on the backhand. Plays it into the Stevens Point zone. And Annie Beck is going to be content to cover it up. And a face-off is coming here in Stevens Point territory. 16:47 remaining here in this second period. Yellow Jackets leading 1-0. Power play goal by Anna Sherling late in the first period. The marker that is on the board. Yellow Jackets currently out shooting the Stevens Point 18-11. Heads up in the bench as the clearing attempt goes ripping up there. Right into the Yellow Jacket bench. It went right between assistant coach Gavin Rasmussen and head coach Bree Simon. I don't know if anybody got clipped by that puck. Having flashbacks to early January when Rich McKenna, the men's head coach, had something similar like that happen, except he wasn't as lucky. He caught it square in the face. Got himself a black eye and some stitches, and I don't know if his nose actually ended up being broken or not, but there was a lot of blood that day. Anyway, back to less gory live action as the puck is in the Yellow Jacket zone. Taylor Marks on the right side sends a rink wide to the left. It goes off the stick of Lukazik and into the Stevens Point zone. Lukazik grabs onto the jersey. That would have been a pass interference penalty in football, but it remains uncalled here. Right wing corner, Stevens Point zone. Lukazik is in there, as is Gabby Olsen. It's going to be dug free by Polkamp for Stevens Point. Sends the pass rink wide on the right for Neist. She comes across the Yellow Jacket line, has her shot blocked. Yellow Jackets just skated right past the loose puck there, and the Pointers keep it in the zone. They take a shot in at point-blank range, and it's going to go just wide. Now it's loose in the blue paint, and finally it's going to be dropping down and covering it up, and we're going to get a face-off in the Yellow Jacket zone. Face-off will be to Moyer's left. It's controlled here by tied up along the boards. Nobody's got it right now. Ashton Parnell digging away here for the Yellow Jackets, but Stevens Point comes out with it here. Riestenberg carries behind the net. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets here. They're going to get Ashton Parnell. When you've had the first 3 power plays of the hockey game, you absolutely have to believe that eventually one is going to come your way, and it is going to come right now in the person of Ashton Parnell. Tripping will be the call. Time of that penalty, 4:29 of the first period. First power play for the Pointers. You heard Coach Simon talk about it in the pregame. Yellow Jacket PK has been very good. On the season, the number is at 78.9%, but over the last 10 games, it's been a lot better. Quick shot off the faceoff, and Moyer makes the save on that. PK yesterday, 2 for 2. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going while playing shorthanded. As we also mentioned in the pregame, Stevens Point is susceptible to giving up the shorthanded goal. The Yellow Jackets haven't scored one when down a skater yet this year, but Stevens Point has allowed 5. They win the faceoff. Yoakum has it at the right point. Throws the backhand over to the left. Unable to handle it was Regan, and the puck comes back out into the neutral zone. Sherling forcing Yoakum all the way back behind her goal. It's good use of the first 20 seconds. Carrying it up the middle now, Yoakum. She crosses the Yellow Jacket blue line. Pulls up in the corner. Gets knocked down by the referee. And the Yellow Jackets will pick up the loose puck. Taylor Marks will send that all the way down the ice. Yoakum very upset with the referee. Not a lot that Justina Vachorek could do there. I mean, she backed into the corner. There's no place to go. It's not like the 1980s when you could climb the glass to get out of the way. So the Jackets benefiting from referee positioning there. In the slot, the puck kicks over now, left circle. A shot taken by Polkamp, misses high. Eiley Dahl on the left wing boards has it for the Yellow Jackets. She'll go back behind her net now and pick up speed up the right side. Dahl into the neutral zone. Loses the puck and gets it back. She's into Stevens Point territory. Right circle, a shot. Beck makes the save. And the rebound picked up here as the Pointers are quickly going to jump back on the attack. Passes up the right wing. Nobody in a black sweater is there. It's going to come all the way down. And icing is going to be the call. Faceoff coming back in the Pointers zone with 39 seconds left in the minor penalty to Ashton Parnell. 14:09 to play here in this opening period. Or excuse me, second period rather. One to nothing Yellow Jackets. Pointers move it out into the neutral zone now. This is Britz across the Yellow Jacket line on the left wing. Comes up to the blue line. A shot tipped in front, and Moyer able to stretch out and get the glove on that. As that one changed direction and got the Yellow Jacket goaltender leaning the other way. But she was able to get that big glove down and make the stop. Puck is sent back down into the Stevens Point zone. Just 10 seconds left in the minor penalty to Ashton Parnell. Yoakum out from behind the net over to Polkamp on the right wing. Molly Polkamp into the Yellow Jacket zone, right circle. Penalized player back on. Puck kicks her on the blue paint. Still loose at the left side of the net, and the shot is blocked in front. Now the puck still free to the left side, and finally Moyer able to reach out and grab that one in the goal mouth scramble. And some really good chances for the Pointers there, who have quickly closed the gap in shots on goal. And Jada Moyer has been sharp as a tack here in the last 2 minutes of play, keeping this thing a 1-0 game. What do you got to say about that save, Teddy?
It was pretty good. There was a lot of stuff going on in the net, and I'm surprised that she still made the save.
She made a couple really good saves there. Jackets get the puck in the Stevens Point zone now on the right side. Parnell Settles the bouncing puck down. Gets knocked down on the play. The puck into the high slot. Marks takes a shot. It gets blocked. 10th block of the game right there for the Pointers. Now the puck is behind the Stevens Point goal. Comes into the left wing corner. The clearing pass is knocked down by Parnell. It's going to be worked free again. Now right back into the scrum. Pointers settle it down along the end board. Amanda Pouchnick sends it up the right wing. It's cleared into the neutral zone. Yellow Jackets get it back, and Taylor Marks sends it in. Glove there by Annie Beck, and she'll slide it over to Riestenberg on the right wing. Riestenberg throws it rink wide onto the left. Rickley there for the Pointers, dumps it in. Brooke Bugas now for the Yellow Jackets, sends it over on the left wing boards. Maya Anderson, and she'll tip it into the Stevens Point zone. Nice chases it down for the Pointers. It comes back behind their net. Clearing attempt up the slot is going to bounce away from Avery Olenek and come to neutral ice. Steiner dumps it back in. Pointers quickly coming back in transition. Niced again on the right wing board. Sends a backhand into Yellow Jacket territory. And Jada Moyer will drop down and cover. And we'll get a face-off coming up here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 11:52 to play here in the second period. Yellow Jackets with a 1-0 lead. Shots 20-16 favoring the Yellow Jackets, which means 7-4 favoring the Pointers in this second period. Olenek on the left wing tips it ahead to center now. Ella Horning picking it up as she crosses the Stevens Point line. Takes the shot from the left circle and misses high and wide. Steiner holds it in at the right point, sending it down low. Puck is going to be picked up on the left wing side. Avery Olenek couldn't settle that one down, and it's going to come all the way back into Yellow Jacket territory. Sherling picks it up, circles her net, and starts up the right side with it here. Throws a pass ahead at center. That's going to be broken up. Puck kicks around off the skate of Steiner. Pointers get it back now with Torma. She centers. Steiner breaks it up and goes to clear, but Polkamp holds it in at the right point. Polkamp now into the high slot, takes the wrister, and that's going to be deflected wide. Jackets running around a little bit in their own zone here. Need to settle things down, maybe get a stoppage, and that's exactly what's going to happen as it trickles in on goal, and Moyer will cover. And that gives us an opportunity to remind you that this broadcast is coming to you on Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network, also on 91.3 KUWS on your FM dial. We're live at Westman Arena, the broadcast originating from the KUWS studios in the Holden Fine Arts Building on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior. Puck in the high slot now comes out to center. Addison Fee ahead now for Anna Sherling, who gets a step on the D. Sherling goes in, pulls it to the backhand. It gets taken down, but play continuing on. Now up to the left point. Roski with a shot there. Jump it, they score! With the wrister from the blue line, gets it through Annie Beck. It'll be the second of the season for Veda Roski. And the Jackets have a 2-goal lead. Anna Sherling got a step on the defense and went to her backhand. Didn't get a real good shot away as she was taken down, but the Jackets stayed with the play. Got it up to the left point, and Roski makes it a 2-0 game. Time of the goal, 9:26. And the Jackets put it right back in the offensive zone.
Your Yellow Jackets was number 4, Veda Roski. She got assists on the goal by number 18, Kendall Gustafson. And number 13, Anna Sherling.
So Gustafson and Sherling get the assists on Roski's second of the year. Pointers right back on the attack, though, as they put the pedal to the metal here right after the goal and are buzzing around the Yellow Jacket zone right now. Parnell digs that puck free and sends it ahead now for Maya Anderson. She was flat-footed, wasn't able to catch the pass. Now she does get it and dumps it down into Stevens Point territory. It's going to trickle in on goal, and it's going to be covered up and held by goaltender Annie Beck. Get the same gear the Yellow Jackets wear by visiting the Yellow Jackets Sideline store. Browse the latest styles of gear, including shirts, hats, sweatshirts, outerwear, and more. The Yellow Jackets Sideline store can be found at uwsyellowjackets.com/shop. And fans, Yellow Jacket Hockey and Bills Distributing are partnering to benefit Folds of Honor for the 10th year in a row. Every time the Yellow Jackets score a goal at home, Bills Distributing will donate $20 to Folds of Honor, helping provide scholarships and educational assistance for the families of fallen or severely wounded servicemen and women and first responders. So the Yellow Jackets adding $40 to the kitty so far here today. And even $100 in the 1.5 games that they have played here so far. And speaking of the sideline store, Teddy, you've got yourself some Yellow Jacket gear, don't you?
Yeah. I am wearing a jersey right now.
You're wearing a jersey right now?
Yeah. They did get a good opportunity to get that goal, so. Good goal. The win in.
Yep.
So. They're winning 2-0. So let's see if they can make a comeback and they can win tonight and not like yesterday. So
exactly. You don't want the same finish as yesterday. Yellow Jackets with a quick shot off the face-off, and Beck will cover that up to the left side of the net. So we'll do the face-off again to her right. 9:46 to play here, second period. Shots 23-16 Yellow Jackets, and they lead 2-0. Off the face-off, trying to push it to the front of the net. That one's not going to go. Ends up down behind the Stevens Point net. It's going to be wrapped around by Sydney Wang to the left wing side. Now it's along the end board. Jackets with the steal behind the net. Coming out with it here, Wharton. Jalen Wharton gets it up to the left point. Now it's played to the front of the net. Is loose in front. And the Pointers finally pick it up. Addison Novak goes to clear, but that's not going to leave the zone. And Wharton will drive it back deep for the Yellow Jackets. Good shift here by the Yellow Jacket fourth line as they are able to pin the Stevens Point club in their own zone. It comes up to the blue line. Steiner holds at the right point, sends it right back down low. Pointers trying to get a whistle here by eating it along the end boards. It's going to be played around to the right wing side. Jackets break up the clearing pass, but the puck gets on end and comes down into Yellow Jacket territory. Picked up there by Steiner. Her pass up the left wing boards finds Avery Olenek. Olenek now is going to play it into the Stevens Point zone, but that's out of the reach of everyone in the gold sweater, and it's going to be icing on the Yellow Jackets with 8:46 to play here in this second period. 2-0 Yellow Jackets in front. I've said a few times this season in these games that I've done at home that I feel like the Jackets have deserved better, and I feel like today they're finally getting it. In the neutral zone, Steiner's got it on the left wing board. She plays it into the Pointers zone. Annie Beck looking like she was going to play it for a little while. Was waiting to see how quickly the forecheckers got on top of her. Finally, she does cover it up. And we'll get a face-off to her right. Yellow Jacket women's basketball team is in action today on the road at Martin Luther. That one just getting underway here at 3 o'clock. They have an early lead in the first quarter, 4-0. Yellow Jacket men will be in action at Martin Luther at the conclusion of that women's game. So we'll keep our eyeballs on that. Yoakum's got it for Stevens Point. She starts it ahead of the neutral zone. Comes across the red line into Yellow Jacket territory, right circle. A backhand goes wide. Novak on the left wing boards for Stevens Point. Gives it behind the net. Centering pass by Ahern broken up. Now Anderley's got it in the left corner. Roski leaning on her. The puck comes free. Picked up by Avalar. She'll leave it behind the Yellow Jacket net for Roski, who picks up speed up the left wing. Veda Roski now across the red line. Takes a long shot in from outside the Stevens Point blue line that's steered away by Beck. Puck is in the right wing corner. Stevens Point zone. Sherling picks it up now. Sherling with a nice pass into the slot for Gustafson. She takes the backhand between the circles. Stick save made by Beck. Pouchnick for Stevens Point. Plays it up the board. Sherling intercepts. She's everywhere today. Sherling in the slot. Fires! And a stick save made by Beck. Now Gustafson up top to Marks at the left point. Back down to the left half board. Stevens Point will intercept that. And they'll play it back the other way. Puck is dumped down into the Yellow Jacket zone. Cleared ahead on the right side by Marks. Aislinn Carrick, rather. And then the puck's going to hop off her stick and go over the glass into the, or not over the glass, but over the boards into the Stevens Point bench. And we're going to get a face-off. They're going to keep that in the zone to the right of Jada Moyer. 17 saves for her so far. Pointers whiff on the shot off the face-off. Jackets come back on the attack. 2-on-2. Gustafson from the right wing throws it into the high slot where Addison Fee couldn't get a stick on it. Now Scherling's got it. She carries behind the Stevens Point net and comes out with it here. Sends it up top at the right point. Carrick lets a long shot go. It's deflected by Fee at the right side of the net and goes wide. And Stevens Point will take the puck and send it all the way back down the other direction. Icing waved off on the play. Taylor Marks for the Yellow Jackets. Tries to push that one up the boards for Fee. Now it comes into the slot. Yellow Jackets with the interception there. Back the other way, Parnell. Ashton Parnell across the Stevens Point line. Carries behind the Pointer goal over to the right wing corner. Yellow Jackets in the midst of a change here. Steiner from the right wing boards a shot that's going to skip wide. Now into the slot. Dahl turns and shoots, and that hits a skate in front. Maya Anderson falls down on the left wing side, but got it to Bugas. She poked it toward the front of the net. That's not going to go. Behind the goal for the Pointers. Anderle gets knocked down. Check that's not Anderle, excuse me. That's Arneson. She got knocked down on the play. Jackets dodging a penalty there. Now Arneson's got it back again for Stevens Point. She'll throw that up the right wing boards. Knocked down there nicely by Riestenberg, and she'll send it in. Steiner behind the Yellow Jacket net, wraps it around the left side. Takes a funny hop off the boards and goes behind Olenek. Now it comes down into the right wing corner. Back up the boards. Puck played into the slot. Handcuffed a little bit there and unable to get the shot away was Addison Novak, and the Yellow Jackets come back on the attack at center. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Horning across line, nice move, gets around one, gets around a second, the shot and the save is made by Beck, and then Kovala got the rebound and pushed her right through the goal crease, and Stevens Point able to pick up the loose puck and send it back to neutral ice. Some nifty stick work there by Ella Horning, nearly resulting in her second goal in as many games. Behind the Yellow Jacket net, centering pass picked off by Olenek, and she'll start it back the other way. Avery Olenek across the red line, she dumps it in. It comes down into the left wing corner. Olenek pinned to the boards by Yoakum. Puck is going to move back to neutral ice. Roski knocks that down and sends it back in for the Yellow Jackets. Now Yoakum's got it. Alyssa Yoakum for Stevens Point. Sends it in from the neutral zone. It comes off the end boards right to the front of the net. Moyer couldn't get her glove down on it in time. Jackets force a scramble and clear, and now they're going to go shorthanded. As Kendall Gustafson is going to get whistled. And it's going to be a Stevens Point power play. That's unfortunate because as that puck came off the end board, if Jada Moyer could actually cover and get the stoppage in play, Kendall Gustafson doesn't get whistled for roughing there, forcing the Yellow Jackets shorthanded. Stevens Point 0 for 1 on the power play. 4:20 to go here in the second period. Shots 29-17 Yellow Jackets, and they lead 2-0. Pointers control the faceoff. In the high slot, Torma has it. Dishes it down for Anderle on the left side. Up top, left point, Torma. Up to the right point for Rickley. She throws it toward the front of the net, and the redirection goes wide. Anderle in the left wing corner for Stevens Point. Stick handles in the circle. Passes that one back up for Ahern. Now up top in the high slot. Shot tipped in front, and they score. The shot coming in from the blue line by Torma. Tipped in front by Jenna Britz in the power play goal. Cuts the Yellow Jacket lead in half. Should be Anderle and Torma getting the assists on the goal by Jenna Britz, her fourth of the season. Time of the goal, 16:05, so the penalty proving costly here. As the Pointers are on the board and seizing some momentum here.
For Grace Torma. Assists on that goal go to number 21, Natalie Ahern, and number 15, Kendall Rickley.
Wow, I had none of that right. So Torma from Ahern and Rickley, and then they just tied the game. was right in the goal down. I didn't see who got it, but I think it's going to be Britz who got this one. And just like that, we're even. Time of that goal, 16:24. So the Pointers scoring twice in a span of 19 seconds to draw things even here. We'll wait for the announcement from public address announcer Ryan Castaneda.
Scoring the goal for the Pointers was number 24, Jenna Britz. She was assisted by number 19, Abby Skelly, and number 5, Molly Polkamp.
So Polkamp and Skelly getting the helpers on that one. Now a delayed penalty call coming on the Yellow Jackets. And boy, the last couple minutes here, I don't think it's all the wheels coming off the wagon right now. Time of the penalty, 16:42. So the Jackets have the opportunity to get a stoppage in play. Can't do that, which leads to a power play, but the Pointers convert on, then they score again. And now they're back on the power play as Stacy Steiner goes to the box for interference at 16:42. Third power play for the Pointers. They are 1 for 2. Yoakum in the high slot, stick handles, fires the shot. It's going to get blocked. Puck bounces around. Olenek able to get a stick on that. And she'll clear that all the way down the ice, relieving some of the pressure as we dip under 3 minutes remaining here in this second period. So if you got up to go get a sandwich or go to the bathroom, you missed a few things. Sherling shorthanded, takes the shot left circle, and the save is made by Beck. She'll hold on. And we'll get a face-off here in the Yellow Jackets zone. 1:25 left in the interference minor on Stacy Steiner. 2:42 to go here in the second period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2. Torma carries behind the net. Now starts up the right wing side, throws a headman pass to center. Britz on the left wing comes across the Yellow Jacket line and sends it deep. Behind the net, Roski went to clear. It goes off a Pointer player and bounces to the right side of the net. Moyer drops down and covers. And we'll get a face-off here to Moyer's left. Face-off controlled here by the Pointers. They walk it in the slot, and the shot goes over the top of the net. Rickley with the opportunity as the Yellow Jackets watch the face-off just drift away from them. Nobody went to the puck, and the Pointers walked right into the slot. This would be where Coach McKenna would say the controller got unplugged. That's kind of what the Yellow Jackets are dealing with here right now. It had been an unbelievable game for them, and then the last couple of minutes have been the complete opposite of what we've been seeing. In the neutral zone, Britz on the left wing has it poked off her stick. It comes back into the Stevens Point zone. 1:45 left here in the second period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2. Up the left wing, Britz pushes it down to the corner. Bugas takes her into the end boards. Puck is picked up by Anderle now. She centers. It goes off the stick of Moyer. Jackets able to clear that one away from trouble. Now it's behind the net. Played up into the high slot. At the right point. That shot's going to miss wide of the mark. Penalized player back on the ice, so the Jackets kill it off, but the Pointer pressure has been relentless here in the last 5 minutes. Sherling has it for the Yellow Jackets now. She'll play it ahead for Olenek. Nice move to get around one. She comes into the Stevens Point zone, takes a shot that got deflected wide. Puck is free behind the Stevens Point net. Picked up by Yoakum, and she's going to come back the other way. 3-on-2 for the Pointers as they come into Yellow Jacket territory. From the left side, Yoakum's pass is deflected, and that one's going to get up into the netting. And a face-off coming up here in Yellow Jacket territory. Behind the Yellow Jacket net now, Steiner. Check that, it's Carrick, rather. Plays it up the right wing, but that doesn't leave the zone. Now behind the goal, Marks. Plays it on the backhand over to the left side for Maya Anderson. That's going to get broken up. 30 seconds remaining here in the second period. Puck is loose to the right side of the Yellow Jacket net. Taken here by Ashton Parnell. She'll flip that high in the air. It's held in at the left point. Now a shot from the left circle is going to miss wide of the Yellow Jacket net. Yellow Jackets on the ropes here a little bit in the closing stages of the period, and now they're going to send that one all the way down, and they're going to be called for icing with 5.4 seconds to play. Face-off will be to Moyer's right. Goes into the left wing corner. And the horn sounds, bringing the second period to a close. By and large, it was about 15 really good minutes for the Yellow Jackets in that second period. Unfortunately, there was a stretch of about 3 minutes that really came back to bite them. Taking a penalty, giving up a power play goal, giving up another one, taking another penalty really shifted the momentum of this game. Because for the most part, through the first 35 minutes of hockey, it was all Yellow Jackets here this afternoon. But Stevens Point was able to weather the storm and step on the gas a little bit and draw themselves even in the second period. What do you got, Teddy?
So, the Jackets, they did score 2 goals, and then it's like they lost all their energy, so then it feels like they gave their 2 goals away and gave them to the Pointers so they could tie it up, and it feels like the Jackets took their points away and put it on the Pointers' side. That's what it feels like.
That's
right
what it
now.
feels like to you?
Yeah.
Okay, I think what it feels like to me is the Jackets were playing really, really well and had one little mistake. And that mistake came back to bite them, and not only are they did they have their lead sawed in half, but they had it eliminated completely. And they're going to go to the locker room here tied 2-2 after 2 periods of play. We'll take a timeout and come back with our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back at Westman Arena. John Garver with you here. Second intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. Comes with the Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied 2-2 after 40 minutes of play. We lamented on it a little bit prior to the break that it was about 35 minutes of really good hockey for the Yellow Jackets, and then the last 5 minutes of that second period, things got away from them. And I'll go all the way back to Jada Moyer, who's been really good today, had a lot of difficulty covering up the puck that came off of the end boards. And it was a long shot from center. It went wide. It came to the left side of the net, and she went to cover it up, and I don't know if she missed it or if somebody got a stick on it or what happened, but she never actually did cover the puck, and it allowed Stevens Point to continue their forecheck. Ultimately, then, the Yellow Jackets were forced to take a penalty, and when they took that penalty, Stevens Point scores on the power play. They score again off of the ensuing faceoff. The Yellow Jackets then take another penalty, and at that point, momentum wrestled away from the Yellow Jackets and now residing with Stevens Point. Yellow Jackets were up 1-0 after one power play goal scored by Anna Scherling, giving the Jackets the early lead. They extended that lead at 9:26 of the second period. Veda Roski scoring her second goal of the season, getting the puck at the left point and taking a wrist shot through some traffic that got between the pads of Annie Beck. The Yellow Jackets got assists from Kendall Gustafson and Anna Scherling on the goal. 2-0 Yellow Jackets at that point, 9:26 of the second period. So halfway through the period, the Yellow Jackets had the momentum, had things really moving in the right direction. Then at 15:40, they go shorthanded. Stevens Point capitalizes at 16:05. Second goal of the season for number 4, Grace Torma. She took the shot from the blue line that I thought was tipped in front by Jenna Britz, but it was not. It actually went off of a Yellow Jacket defender, I believe. So a goal credited to Torma. That was the power play goal. The assist to Kendall Rickley and Natalie Ahern. That was at 16:05. And it was a 2-1 game at that point. While I was writing down everything for that goal, Stevens Point comes right back and ties the game just 19 seconds later at 16:24. Jenna Britz scoring her 4th goal of the season. Assist to Abby Skelly and Molly Polkamp. And that's where we stand tied 2-2 after 2 periods of play. Shots on goal in the second period. The Yellow Jackets had 14 for a 2-period total of 30. Stevens Point had 12 for a 2-period total of 21. Penalties in the game so far. Each team has taken 3 penalties for 6 minutes. And on the power play, each team has gone 1 for 3. So you look at everything that's unfolding here this afternoon. I mean, it was a tight game yesterday. The Jackets scoring late to force the overtime period. They were able to get the point because the game went into overtime, but unfortunately for them, they weren't able to get the victory. These are 2 very, very evenly matched teams. We got a tie score here right now. Yellow Jackets have attempted 46 shots to 40 for Stevens Point. The penalties are even. Face-offs, the Yellow Jackets have won 27. Stevens Point has won 24. The blocks are relatively even. The Yellow Jackets have 9-10 for Stevens Point. The only place you have a real gap is shots on goal at 30-21. So it tells you a couple of things when you're looking at this Yellow Jacket women's team. Again, we've said it so many times this year, they're young. This is a youthful bunch. She had 14 new players this year. And there's going to be some growing pains. And when you go through an extended winless streak like the Yellow Jackets have been on, you're looking for one thing, and that's development. And you're seeing development come from these young players. We talked with Coach yesterday in the pregame interview about you're losing games, but it's a better quality of loss. And how she put it is, we're not getting blown out by anybody. We're losing 1-goal games, 2-goal games. We're in every game we're playing. And even though you look at the standings and you see Stevens Point has 11 wins this year, the Yellow Jackets have 1. In conference play, they have 5. We have 1. It's obviously a big gap point-wise between number 3 Stevens Point and number 4 Superior, but the teams are very evenly matched, and I think despite the fact the Jackets aren't getting the results that they are looking for, you're starting to see that this team is growing, and the lumps that they're taking now are going to play dividends. Maybe down the stretch, maybe into the postseason a little bit, but for sure when this group goes from being freshmen this year to sophomores next year. We got about 10 minutes left in this second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. We'll take a timeout, come back, and see what else is going on around the world of UW Superior. Also, take a look at the Around the WIAC, preview tonight's men's hockey game, which will be the second game of our doubleheader here on 91.3 on Yellow Jacket TV. We'll have all that when the second intermission continues right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. Back here at Westman Arena, it's our second intermission sponsored by Hovland Incorporated. Yellow Jackets and UW Stevens Point tied 2-2 after 40 minutes in what's been a good one here. Game 2 of this weekend series. Stevens Point taking the opener yesterday afternoon, 4-3 in overtime, and every reason in the world to believe this is going to be a one-goal contest in one way, shape, or form here this afternoon. Elsewhere around the WIAC, only other game is going to be coming up tonight at 7:05, Hunt Arena and River Falls. In a battle of the top two teams in the conference standings, River Falls and UW Eau Claire. UW River Falls is the two-time defending national champion. They are the number 1 ranked team in the country, but they are not in first place in the WIAC. That is because they have played 8 conference games. They are 7-1. UW Eau Claire has played 8 conference games. That is 8. They are 8-0. So deductive reasoning would tell us that the one loss UW River Falls has this year was in conference play to UW Eau Claire. And the Falcons will get their opportunity to get some revenge on the Blue Gold. 7:05 face-off at Hunt Arena. That is the other game today in the WIAC. Yellow Jacket women's basketball team is on the road today, taking on Martin Luther in UMAC play. There's about a minute to go in the first half, and the Yellow Jackets have a 23-15 lead over the Knights. Jackets are being paced by Maddie Riat, who has 7 points. We've also gotten 5 from Mackenzie Lesha, who took an elbow the other day on Wednesday and broke a tooth. She was looking like a hockey player walking down the hall a couple days ago with a big chunk of her front tooth missing, so hopefully she's able to get that repaired. But 5 points for her in the first half. Yellow Jackets, who are 9-12 overall, 6-2 in the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference, and they have a 26-15 lead in the final minute of the first half down in New Ulm as they take on Martin Luther. The Yellow Jacket men are on the road as well. They're at Martin Luther. That game will be coming up at the conclusion of the women's game. Tough go so far for Yellow Jacket head coach Greg Polkowski and the men's basketball team. 5-16 overall, just 1-7 in the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference. They currently sit in 7th place and have some work to do if they're going to get themselves in a position to play in the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference tournament. The Yellow Jacket women, by the way, 6-2 in conference play, sitting in 2nd place behind Bethany Lutheran. And they seem to be firmly entrenched right now in playoff position. Top 4 teams in the conference will make it into the conference tournament, which will be coming up here in a few weeks. The Yellow Jacket men's and women's track and field teams are in action here today. They are on the road at UW River Falls. And then closing things out today is the Yellow Jacket men's hockey team, They'll be at home here tonight at Westman Arena, taking on UW Stout in the second game of their weekend series. Jackets came up short last night. 4-2 was the final. Like the Yellow Jacket women here today, with a rough 5-minute stretch in the second period. The Yellow Jacket men last night had a very similar stretch in the second period, where they kind of fell asleep for 5 or 6 minutes, and Stout scored 3 times in that stretch, and that was the difference in the hockey game. So they're going to try to put an end to a 2-game losing skid and a 4-game winless skid that is, or excuse me, 5-game winless skid now that has plagued them since their 6-game winning streak was snapped in what could possibly be their final home game of the season tonight. It's a 7:05 face-off and a 6:30 pregame show. Joint broadcast between 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV. And that is what is going on around the world of the WIAC, the Upper Midwest Athletic Conference, and UW Superior. About 4 minutes away from the start of the third period here at Westman Arena. It's been a good Saturday matinee as the Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point are tied 2-2 after 2. We'll take a break and come back with more of our second intermission, sponsored by Hovland Incorporated, right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. To do.
They gotta wake up.
Well, I think they're awake. They've played a good hockey game here today, so I don't think it's a wake-up thing.
They just gotta get some more goals.
They got to score one more goal than the other team. That's probably the best way to put it. And they've had some.
But if they don't score, it will go into overtime, and let's see if we can. I hope we can do it in overtime.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little victory in overtime too. Yep. So hopefully the Jackets don't have to go to overtime. That would be outstanding, because if they want to get the win, get the extra points here, and give themselves some distance between themselves and Beloit, who will be their next opponent. Not next weekend, but the weekend after.
And Stout.
No, Stout is on the men's side, buddy, not on the women's side. We're talking about the women's team right now.
Saying like our matchups for today.
Yes, but
Let's see if we can turn the Yellow Jackets' frowns upside down.
I like that. I like that plan, buddy. All right, I like that plan.
Both Yellow Jacket teams turn their frowns around today.
Fresh 20 minutes on the clock. 5-on-5 hockey to start here for this third period. Jada Moyer will defend the goal. 2 hour left for the Yellow Jackets. She'll be going left to right across your radio dial or your computer screen. She has made 19 saves so far. At the other end, Annie Beck of Stevens Point been a little bit busier. 28 stops for her. through 2 periods. Jackets controlling the opening face-off of this third period, and it's going to be dumped down in the offensive zone. Torma picks it up behind. They get fans on the pass, but it goes right between the skates of Maya Anderson. And the Pointers quickly with numbers coming back the other way. They cross the Yellow Jacket line. On the right side, Ahern puts it out in front. And the point-blank shot by Anderle is stopped by Jada Moyer. Puck is in the left wing corner now, the Yellow Jacket zone. It comes up the boards. Eiley Dahl is going to play it out into the neutral zone. She sends it into the Stevens Point zone, but didn't get the red line. And as a result, it's going to be an icing call on the Yellow Jackets. Face-off coming all the way back down to the right of Jada Moyer. Used to always know where the face-off's going to be, but now they allow the offensive team to choose what side they would like that face-off to be on. So you have to wait a couple of seconds before you say where it's going to be. Parnell on the right wing boards for the Yellow Jackets, carries it to center, crosses the red line now into Stevens Point territory, gets it on the backhand, a shot left circle, and the save is made by Beck. Puck is loose right side of the Stevens Point goal. Parnell sent it down low, it caromed off the end boards. Now Addison Fee picks it up. Parnell regains control, left corner, throws that one right through the goal mouth. Did the Jackets a favor as it hit the referee in the skate. Puck stays in the offensive zone. It gets to the right point. Steiner able to hold there for the Yellow Jackets. Now it's Kendall Gustafson down low. Out front for Fee, and she couldn't get the stick on that. It ends up in the left wing corner. This line continuing to drive the offense for the Yellow Jackets here this weekend. They have a 3-on-2 back the other way if they hustle. Almost caught the Pointers in a line change. Addison Fee left circle, a backhand shot. Stick save made there by Berg. Now the puck is behind the goal. Or Beck, excuse me. Now it comes back up top. Roski, Avalar right point, takes a shot, and that one's not going to go. Puck's loose right side of the net. Fee had to stick on it for a moment, then lost it. Now Sherling has it in the slot. It rolls off her stick, just out of the reach of Veda Roski, and the Yellow Jackets are going to be forced to regroup at center. Sherling pokes it up the left wing boards. It's going to be taken there and driven back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Setting it up behind the net was Moyer. Roski up the right wing for Gustafson. She puts it right on the tape of the left defense, and that shot's going to drift in on goal, sticked away by Moyer. On the right wing board now, it's Gustafson into the middle. Kasha Kovala crossing the red line and sending it down into the Stevens Point zone. Olenek and Kovala give chase. Kovala picks it up, passes it over into the right wing corner. Olenek's pass is going to hop past Aislinn Carrick and come all the way down the ice. Yellow Jackets forced to regroup. 2.5 minutes gone here, third period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied 2-2. Taylor Marks crosses the red line and dumps it in. Puck is free behind the Stevens Point net, set up there. Now coming away with it is Yoakum. She stick handles away from a check. Now the Jackets force the turnover. Gabby Olsen, right circle, takes the shot, and the save is made by Beck. It's going to come over to the left wing side. Up top at the left point, Marks. Down the boards, Kovala. Passes it behind the net for Olsen. Gabby Olsen in the left wing corner. Wants to go back up to the left point. That pass intercepted. And Stevens Point back the other way. This is Anderle. She takes the shot left circle. Gloved by Moyer, and she decides to hold on. And the face-off coming up here in the Yellow Jacket zone. 16:46 to play here in this third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2. Puck is behind the Yellow Jacket net. Polkamp tried to center. Steiner knocks her down. Play continuing on. In the right wing corner. Steiner pinning a player to the boards. In there to help out as Olsen has finally worked loose, and the Yellow Jackets have it. On the right wing boards, Wharton. Nowhere for her to go. She coughs it up as she's knocked off her skates, and Steiner will go off the right wing boards to neutral ice. Pouchnick for Stevens Point dumps it back in. Brooke Bugas for the Yellow Jackets picks it up now. Throws a pass over to the right wing for Wharton. Not a lot Wharton could do with that pass. It was wobbling a little bit. Is back down behind the net, centering feed in front. The shot on the doorstep, save made by Moyer. Rebound was there, but now it's going to be cleared aside. Comes outside. Oh, they said that stayed in. Okay, play continuing on. That was offside by a mile. Now it's in the right wing corner. Jackets got to get a line change here as Rickley's got it along the boards. Carries behind the net. Parnell tries to take it away from her as the puck is tied up on the kick plate. It comes up. Rickley throws that one in front. Misses its intended target, and the Yellow Jackets will clear, but it's not out as Lukaszik's clearing attempt is held in at the right point. Gugas behind the net, loses the handle on that. It's loose at the right side of the goal. Penalty coming. It's going to be on the Yellow Jackets. They're going to get Stacy Steiner for the second time in the hockey game, and it's going to be a power play for Stevens Point. It's a shame, too, because about a minute ago, the puck snuck out of the zone, and they did not call the offside. They said it stayed in, allowing Stevens Point to continue its forecheck. And with how long that team, or the line was stuck on the ice, you just had a feeling a penalty was coming, and they got Steiner for interference. Time of the penalty, 4:46. Fourth power play here for the Pointers. Centering feed hits a skate, and the Yellow Jackets will pounce on the loose puck. Taylor Marks will send that all the way down the ice. On the left wing boards. This is Yoakum in her own zone. Throws a backhand pass rink wide to the right side. Polkamp has it now for Stevens Point. Back over now to the left wing boards. Anderle. Check that. It's not Anderle. Excuse me. It's Regan carrying it up the wall. Now Polkamp behind the Yellow Jacket net. Over into the right wing circle. Up top for Yoakum. She takes the shot, tipped in front, and that one ends up in the right wing corner. Olenek gets there, but she can't clear it out. Into the slot, Polkamp takes the shot, blocked in front by Taylor Marks. Olenek again, this time will send it all the way down the ice. Yellow Jackets will change penalty killers with a minute to go on the power play, and then the goaltender sends it all the way down the ice. Icing waved off as Vedarowski picks it up. And she'll send that ahead to center. 2-on-1, shorthanded. Maya Anderson to the right circle. Dahl with the shot. And Beck will grab that and hold on. As the Yellow Jackets in quick transition got the 2-on-1 while shorthanded. In the face-off in the Stevens Point zone. 47 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Stacy Steiner. 14 minutes exactly to play here in the third period. We're tied 2-2. Rickley for Stevens Point. Carries it up the right wing boards into the Yellow Jacket zone. Drops it off in the right circle for Anderle. 2 goals and an assist for her yesterday. She carries behind the Yellow Jacket net. Plays it up top. Ahern with a shot from the high slot that goes wide. Bugas picks up the puck, and she'll send that all the way down the ice. That should effectively kill things off here. In the neutral zone, it's controlled here. Anderle across the Yellow Jacket line. Carries it into the high slot, now drops it off for Brits. That shot misses high and wide. Comes off the boards. The Yellow Jackets nearly got caught with too many skaters on the ice. Penalized player back on. Jackets back on the attack. A long shot by Marks is going to be sticked aside. No, shot comes in from the blue line. That one's not going to go. Anna Sherling interfered with in front, so she couldn't get a stick on the puck. Play rolls on as it's played to the Yellow Jacket line. Taylor Marks has it there. Throws that one over to the left wing side. Avalar clears it to neutral. Pointers dump it right back in. Marks will curl all the way back behind her net. Gives it to Avalar on the left side. Now to Olenek. Into the neutral zone. It's taken here by Gustafson. Gustafson across the line. Back to Olenek. Left circle. She takes the shot. The save is made by Beck, and she'll hold on. Some good puck movement there between Kendall Gustafson and Avery Olenek. Face-off coming in the Stevens Point zone to the right of Annie Beck. 12:16 to play in the third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2. Puck comes down into the right wing corner of the Stevens Point zone, taken there by Arneson. She'll wrap that back around to the right wing side. Olenek forces the turnover, but the Pointers regaining control with Ahern on the right wing. Puck is in the skates of Ahern. Olenek trying to poke it free. Finally, it does come to neutral, and the Pointers will send it all the way down. Icing waved off. Bugas giving chase. Throws a backhand up the right wing. The puck comes out to center. Olenek for the Yellow Jackets. Sends a long shot in, gloved by Beck. She just thought she was going to hold on to it. Then she realized everybody was changing. So she sets it down for Torma. Torma's pass ahead to center, picked off by Roski. She dishes for Horning. Horning's pass hits a skate. Now they tie up in front of the scorer's table. Pointers will dig it free with Polkamp up the right wing. She takes a shot from the circle. It's going to go wide. Puck held in at the left point and driven back down low. Right wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. Polkamp and Parnell fall down. Puck underneath both of them. Polkamp has it, sidesteps the check, loses the puck, then gets it back, centers. Jackets break it up. And Maya Anderson will get enough on that, just enough on that to clear it out to neutral, and then that'll be dumped up into the Yellow Jacket bench. And we'll get a face-off here in the neutral zone. 10:39 remaining here in the third period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied 2-2. Taylor Marks sends it ahead for Ali Dahl. Dahl across the Stevens Point line, pushes it to the corner. Parnell giving chase, but the Pointers come away with it here. Marks breaks up the play. Parnell gets the puck. She's taken down. Penalty coming. It's going to be on Stevens Point as they took down Ashton Parnell, a shifty forward who was going in one direction. Rickley took her skates out, and it's going to be a power play here for the Yellow Jackets. Their fourth. Time of the penalty, 9:39 of the third period. Power play number 4 for the Yellow Jackets. The power play sponsored by Superior Water, Light, and Power. Clean, reliable, Superior. That's SWLP. Pointers will take control, however, and they'll send that all the way down the ice. Taylor Marks tied up by Ahern in the right wing corner. Yellow Jacket zone. Puck comes to the front of the net. Now it's taken by Gustafson. Passes it ahead for Horning. To Maya Anderson across the Stevens Point line. She pushes it toward the net, but intercepted there by the defense and sent all the way down the ice. So rather nondescript opening 30 seconds of this power play as the Yellow Jackets will have to go 200 feet once again. Horning up the right wing. Her path taken away by Anderle. And then Polkamp will dump it back into the Yellow Jacket zone. Avery Olenek up the left wing, Gustafson. Gustafson now across the Stevens Point line. Gustafson takes the shot, right circle, and a save made by Beck. Had to get the blocker on that. Now the puck's loose behind the goal, wrapped around to the right wing side. Steiner holds the zone. Stacy Steiner for the Yellow Jackets tries to center, hits the right side of the goal. Puck was loose for a moment, but now the Pointers will send that all the way down the ice. 40 seconds left in the Yellow Jacket power play. 9 minutes to play, third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2. Steiner up the right wing, flips it into the Pointers zone. It gets down behind the goal. Along the end board, Steiner battling for it there. Kovala in as well. It comes free to the right corner. Eiley Dahl digging for it. Avery Olenek is in there as well, and she comes out with it. Olenek sends it up top. Steiner takes the shot, tipped in front, hits traffic, puck still loose, and we're going to get a stoppage in play. As they're going to say the Jackets played it with a high stick. Yellow Jacket players disputing that they played it with a high stick, saying it was a defender. But at any rate, face-off coming in the offensive zone, I believe. Are they going to... No, they're going to pull it to neutral ice. Everybody was lining up in the offensive zone, so I thought maybe they overturned that call, but instead it'll be outside the Stevens Point blue line. Shots 36-25, Yellow Jackets. Pointers win the draw. They'll fire it all the way down, and that'll just about do it. As Rickley comes out of the penalty box, Jackets 1 for 4 with the power play here this afternoon. Polkamp up the right wing across the Yellow Jacket line, right circle. A shot, and the save is made by Moyer. Kicks the rebound behind the goal. Marks picks it up there. Dishes ahead for Addison Fee. Now to Gustafson on the right wing. She crosses the Stevens Point line, drops it for Scherling, a one-timer. And there'll be a glove save made there by Beck. She'll hold on. It gives us an opportunity to ask, have you downloaded Swarm Central, the official rewards and loyalty app of the Yellow Jackets? Get started and receive 200 points for registering and 200 more for downloading the app. Add points by attending games and uploading photos to the Crowd Cameo. Redeem your points in the Swarm Central store, where you can get t-shirts, coffee mugs, playing cards, stickers, and more. Find Swarm Central in the Apple and Google stores today. What do you got, Teddy?
The Jackets did have a good power play, but I am surprised that they did not call a high stick. So surprised.
Well, they did. They did call a high stick. They said the Yellow Jackets played it with a high stick, and that's when a faceoff came out to center. The Yellow Jackets were saying it was on the other team, that they were the ones that used the high stick to play it.
I'm surprised nobody's in the box.
7:58 to go here in the third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2.
And I love you, Mom.
Face-off will be to the left of goaltender Annie Beck. Ashton Parnell in to take the face-off. It's won by the Pointers. Torma wraps that one around to the right wing side where Skelly picks it up. Puck gets to the line and then it's poked away from Ashton Parnell. Taken by Veda Roski. She'll dump it back in. And Beck decides to cover with 7:44 to go here in the third period. A lot of goalies will cover it right away, or they'll play it right away. Annie Beck is one who will sit there with the glove a couple inches above the puck and wait it out before making the decision to cover or not. Jochum plays it out into the neutral zone now. It's tipped across the Yellow Jacket line by Riestenberg. Now from the right wing, a centering pass comes all the way over to the left side. Jochum has her pass picked off. And the Yellow Jackets will start it back. Roski fans on the clearing attempt, however. It's going to come all the way over to the right wing boards. Taken there by Eiley Dahl, and she'll pass it ahead to center. That's going to be out of the reach of Ashton Parnell and come all the way down. And we have an icing call on the Yellow Jackets. 7:13 to go here in this third period. Shots 37-26 Yellow Jackets, and it's a 2-2 score. Teams went to overtime yesterday afternoon here at Westman Arena. Parnell in to take the face-off for the Yellow Jackets here. Controlled by the Jackets, and it actually hit Avery Olenek. She had no idea where it was. She did probably 2 or 3 circles, and the puck just kind of kept following her the whole time. Now Parnell's pass out of the reach of Eiley Dahl comes all the way down, icing waved off. Dahl centers from behind the net, broken up by the defense. Olenek on the right wing has her stick caught up in a defender and unable to play the puck, so it comes all the way to the left side now. Moved up to the left point. Steiner takes a long shot, and the stick save made by Beck. Horning had it hop off her stick on the right wing boards and come out into the neutral zone. Jackets will dump it back in. Pointers will clear it right back out on the right wing board. This is Ella Horning for the Yellow Jackets. She dumps it in. Beck behind the net, leaving it there. Regan now for the Pointers. Getting worked over by Kovala, who comes out with the puck. Kasha Kovala, left wing corner. Throws it up to the left point. Bugas takes the shot. That catches traffic in front. On the right wing side, Horning for the Jackets. Cycled it down low, but unfortunately nobody in a gold sweater was there, so that's going to come all the way down. Icing waved off. I'm not sure why they decided that wasn't icing, but okay, play continuing on as we pass the 14-minute mark of the third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied 2-2 at Westman Arena in Superior. On the left wing, Addison Fee for the Yellow Jackets sends it in. Torma for Stevens Point, pressured by Anna Scherling behind the net, was able to get the pass up the right wing side. Ihern had it there. Decides to play it back for Yoakum. They play it quickly up the left side, broken up by Taylor Marks, but then the puck gets away from her. Pointers will send that ahead to center. It's going to come all the way down the ice, and that's going to be an icing call on Stevens Point. Gives us an opportunity to remind you that this broadcast is live on Yellow Jacket TV. And also live on 91.3 KUWS. Originating from our studios in the Holden Fine Arts Center on the campus of the University of Wisconsin-Superior. We're live at Westman Arena in Superior. John Garver with you for Game 2 of this series. The shot off the face-off by Marks, kicked away by Beck. It's in the right wing corner. Parnell digging away there. Good scrum. Finally, the puck worked loose. Ends up at the right side of the goal, and Beck decides to drop down and cover it up. Ashton Parnell got in there with the stick and took a swipe at it. Pointers didn't like that. Doesn't appear as though any penalties will come out of that, so we'll take the face-off to Beck's left with 4:54 to go here. Jackets win the face-off. Shot taken by Marks. It's tipped. The puck is bouncing in the right circle. Stevens Point will come away with it here on the right wing. This is Riestenberg. Riestenberg plays that down low. Now it comes around left wing corner, Yellow Jacket zone. First one there was Rickley. Rickley on the left wing board, spins away from a check. Jackets get it back. Eiley Dahl now carries it to center. Dahl at the red line, tried to dump that one in, but it's not going to go, and the Pointers will get it and drive it back into Yellow Jacket territory. Out from behind the goal, this is Stacy Steiner. Steiner ahead. Wanted Eiley Dahl on the right wing, and she blew a tire. And the pass goes right behind her and ends up going all the way down for icing. And it's going to be a face-off here in the Yellow Jacket zone with 4:08 to go in this third period. Shots 39-26 Yellow Jackets. And we're tied 2-2. It's been a good one here at Westman Arena. At center, Maya Anderson across the red, dumps it in. Behind the Stevens Point net, this is Yoakum. Yoakum throws that ahead on the left wing. It comes off a defender. Now Roski for the Yellow Jackets gets it over to the right wing for Horning. Yoakum gets it back for the Pointers and sends it in, and that's going to end up being an icing call on Stevens Point now. No shortage of icing calls here in this third period. There was some pretty good flow in the first, but that has since waved bye-bye as things have gotten a tad more staccato here in the third period. Pointers controlling the draw. Carried to center by Alyssa Yoakum across the red line. It's poked off her stick, but now the Pointers are going to be called for an offside. Getting in a step ahead of the play was Abby Skelly. Face off outside the Yellow Jacket blue line. 3:35 remaining. Controlled here by the Pointers. They dump it into the Yellow Jacket zone. Picked up behind the net by Roski. Veda Roski over to the left wing. Fee, she can't clear. Anderle has got it. Maddie Anderle tried to center. That one got blocked. Scherling takes her into the end boards. Ahern digs it free. Now she's tied up along the boards by Roski. Roski's got 2 Pointers tied up there. But Anderle comes out with the puck. She steps right into Roski, and the Yellow Jackets will come back the other way. Fee moves it ahead for Gustafson. She crosses the red and dumps it in. Puck is set up behind the goal. Jackets nearly able to poke that one away from the defense. The Pointers are able to regain control. Anderle on the left wing plays it up the boards. Now Regan for the Pointers. Gets it to neutral ice. The Yellow Jackets break that one up and come back on the attack. Maya Anderson across the Stevens Point line, a long shot, and the save is made by Beck. She holds on to it. And we'll have a face-off coming here in the Stevens Point zone, down to 2:33 remaining here in this third period. Yellow Jackets and Pointers tied at 2-2. Pointers control the face-off now and get it out to neutral ice. Yoakum with a long shot that's going to go wide of the Yellow Jacket net. Brooke Bugas picks up the puck behind the goal. She has her pocket picked in the left wing corner. Now picks it back up. Feeds it up the right side, but Dahl can't get it out of the zone. Behind the net, Bugas has it here for the Yellow Jackets. Sends it ahead at center. This is Ashton Parnell across the red line. Gets around one. Parnell into the zone, left circle. Takes a backhand that goes over the top of the net. As we dip under 2 minutes to play here in the third period. Yellow Jackets and Stevens Point tied at 2. A long shot from Horning comes in on goal, and the save is going to be made by Beck. She'll cover. Face-off is going to be to Beck's right. Puck trickles in on her. So we'll do it again. Face-off controlled here again. It's in the left wing corner. The Yellow Jackets giving chase. Clearing attempt moved ahead at center. Carrying that one up the right wing is Skelly. Loses the puck right at the Yellow Jacket line, and that one will bounce up into the bench. And we'll get a face-off here outside the Yellow Jacket blue line. Down to 1:28 to play here in the third period. Face-off controlled here by the Pointers. They have it behind the Yellow Jacket. And Polkamp taken down, but play going to continue on. Jackets dodge a bullet there. Puck is on the left wing boards. It comes free. Torma at the right point has her shot blocked by Anna Scherling. Puck is moved back down behind the net. Britz has it here in the left wing corner. Jenna Britz for Stevens Point. Carries it up the boards. Now gets it to Polkamp left circle. Her shot's going to go wide. Under a minute to play here now in the third period as the Yellow Jackets come to center. Horning on the right wing. Got it across the Stevens Point line, but no further. Pointers back the other way with Britz up the left wing. Her pass picked off. Jackets coming back the other direction now. Marks up the right wing. Takes the shot. It gets blocked. Fee picks it up right circle. Takes a shot. Save. Rebound shot is there. And they score! Ashton Parnell on the rebound. And it's 3-2. What a sequence for the Yellow Jackets there as they just keep driving the net. And with 35.5 seconds to go, the Jackets are back in front. For Ashton Parnell, it is goal number 2 this season. Addison Fee should get one of the assists. Feel like Taylor Mark should get the other one. And I imagine Stevens Point is going to utilize their timeout here, as with 35.5 seconds to go, the Yellow Jackets have taken the lead. They scored in the final minute of regulation yesterday to tie the game, sending it to overtime. And now here have put themselves in front. And now it just comes down to the whole, hey, if we just play smart thing, we're going to be okay and get a win here. What a sequence of events for the Yellow Jackets. That puck pinballed around the blue paint for a while. And Ashton Parnell just kept going. and was able to pound that one home. And the excitement is off the wall here right now because this is the closest the Yellow Jackets have been to victory in, well, I mean, you're going back several months. Timeout is completed. Neutral zone face-off here. 35.5 seconds left. Annie Beck at the hash marks needs her team to win the face-off, and they do. It's going to get dumped down into the Yellow Jacket zone.
She was assisted on the goal by number 7, Addison Fee, and number 17, Ella.
So Horning also getting an assist on that goal. Jackets drive it into the offensive zone. Puck comes back to neutral ice. In the neutral zone, this is Anderle for Stevens Point. Passes it over the right wing, and the Pointers are going to be called for an offside with 8.2 seconds remaining here in the third period. That's all that stands between the Yellow Jackets and snapping a lengthy winless streak. Neutral zone face-off. Sherling in to take the face-off. It's controlled by the Yellow Jackets. Vadarowski goes off the left wing boards and sends it all the way down. And that's icing with 2.5 seconds to go. I would have maybe flipped it higher in the air or taken a little something off it rather than sending a bullet all the way down the ice. At any rate, 2.5 seconds to go here. Face off to the right of Jada Moyer. Sherling in to take the draw. Pointers win it. Yoakum at the left point. Has the shot blocked, and this one's over. Yellow Jackets mobbing goaltender Jada Moyer. As well they should, as on Alumni Day, on Youth Day, the Yellow Jackets snap a lengthy losing streak
Yellow Jackets.
and get 3 big points in the WIAC standings. Final score here today, the Yellow Jackets defeating Stevens Point 3-2. We'll take a timeout and come back with the postgame show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery right after this. This is Yellow Jacket Hockey on 91.3 KUWS Superior and Yellow Jacket TV, an affiliate of the WIAC Sports Network. We're back here at Westman Arena. It's the post-game show sponsored by Synovus Energy and the Superior Refinery. And it comes following a 3-2 victory for the Yellow Jacket women's hockey team today over UW Stevens Point. An absolutely thrilling contest here, and the Yellow Jackets picking up their second victory of the season. With that win, it snaps a 10-game losing streak and a stretch where the Yellow Jackets are winless over their last 18. So this is a big one for the Yellow Jackets. They needed to feel this, and they needed this opportunity to win a game. And I've said so many times this year that that's a team that deserves better than it's been getting. And without a doubt, we were able to see that here today. They finally were able to get everything that they had been working towards so far this year. So thrilled to death for the Yellow Jacket women's hockey team. Thrilled for for everything that they've been working here through so far in the second half of the year. And just it's awesome to see them get the win. The celebration, you could just feel the weight being lifted off this club with this win here this afternoon. Let's jump into our post-game summary. Yellow Jackets capitalizing on a power play late in the first period. They had a really good first period. They started off a little slow, and as the period went on, they got a little bit better. And they were able to keep going. They got a power play late in the period, and Anna Sherling scoring her 5th goal of the season, coming out of the right corner, getting into the right circle, and beating goaltender Annie Beck between the pads to make it 1-0. Power play goal for Anna Sherling, her 5th of the season. Kendall Gustafson and Ella Horning getting the assist. That was at 17:20 of the first period, and the Jackets were in front 1-0. Shots on goal in the first period favoring the Yellow Jackets at 16-9. In the second period, the Yellow Jackets came out a little bit on the slow side to start, but again, as the period went on, they were able to get better. And they eventually were able to stretch the lead to 2-0. As at 9:26, Veda Roski scoring her 2nd goal of the season, taking a wrist shot from the left point, got through some traffic, got through Annie Beck, and the Yellow Jackets were up 2. Second of the season for Veda Roski. Anna Sherling and Addison Fee got the assist. 2-0 Yellow Jackets at that point. Then something strange kind of happened. A puck was dumped into the Yellow Jacket zone and went off the end board, came to the side of the net, and it was Jada Moyer went down to cover, and I don't know if it got poked past her or what happened, but she wasn't able to get the glove on it. Play continued, and the Yellow Jackets took a penalty. Stevens Point was able to capitalize on that as Jenna Britz scored her 4th goal of the season. It was a deflection from out in tight. Originally, I had Britz getting the goal. They took that away and said it was Torma who scored from the blue line, so I thought, okay, it must have gone off of a Yellow Jacket defender. But in fact, it was tipped in front by Britz, her 4th goal of the season. Torma and Ahern had the assist. That was at 16:05. And it was a 2-1 game. 19 seconds later at 16:24, the Pointers tied it up. Britz scoring her 2nd goal of the hockey game. As she, I'm going to have to see the replay on this one because I was writing down what was going on. I didn't actually ever see this 2nd goal get scored. They just took the ensuing faceoff, came right down the ice. There was a shot from the left circle. The rebound was loose in the blue paint, and Britz was able to stretch out on the backhand and pound it in for her 2nd of the game, 5th of the season. Abby Skelly had an assist, as did Molly Polkamp. That was at 16:24. So 19 seconds after they scored the first goal, the Pointers tie it, and we go to the locker room tied 2-2 after 2. Shots on goal in the second period. The Yellow Jackets had 14 for a 2-period total of 30. And Stevens Point had 12 for a 2-period total of 21. Then in the third period, the Yellow Jackets were able to apply pressure and keep applying pressure and keep applying pressure. And then finally in that last minute, they were able to break through and set off the celebration. With just 35 seconds to go, Ashton Parnell gets a rebound in the slot and was able to put it home for her 2nd of the season, putting the Yellow Jackets in front 3-2 in the final minute. Second goal of the season for Ashton Parnell. Addison Fee and Ella Horning got the assist with 19:25 the time of that goal. Jackets in front 3-2 at that point, and they were able to ride things out and get the victory. 3-2 the final. Shots in the third period. The Yellow Jackets had 12 for a game total of 42. And Stevens Point had 5 for a game total of 26. What do you want to say about shots on net, Teddy?
It was pretty good for the Jackets. Way out shooting 26-42.
Yeah, 26-42. So they had 16 more shots than the Pointers did in the hockey game here today. Penalties in the game. Each team taking 4 penalties for 8 minutes. Each team going 1 for 4 on the power play. The Yellow Jackets with 9 shots while on the power play today. Yellow Jacket goaltender Jada Moyer will pick up the victory. 24 saves for her. That's her first collegiate victory. Her record on the season is now 1-12. At the other end, Annie Beck made 39 saves for UW Stevens Point, and her record will fall to 4-6 on the season. The Yellow Jackets overall with the victory now 2 wins, 20 losses, and a tie. And they are 2-8 in the WIAC. Stevens Point slipping under 500 at 11-12-0, 5-5 in the WIAC.
And let's hope that the men Yellow Jackets can win tonight.
Yep, we'll have more on that in a second, Teddy. You're getting a little bit ahead of me there, man. So let's slow it down just a little bit. Time now for our post-game show 3-star selection, and pretty nice when you can give 2 out of the 3 to the home team, which is something that we really wanted to do. The number 3 star today we're going to give to Stevens Point goaltender Annie Beck. 39 saves for her. And in particular, in the first period, she saw a lot of rubber in the second half of that period and was forced to make a couple of more difficult saves. And I thought she was the reason why it was only 1-0 after that first period. So she is going to be the 3rd star today. The number 2 star is going to be Yellow Jackets senior forward Ashton Parnell, whose second goal of the season ended up being the game winner in the final minute of regulation play.
And 1 penalty.
And she did have 1 penalty. And the number 1 star today is going to be Yellow Jackets senior forward. And we talked about her a ton over the last of the 2 games this week. And Anna Sherling scored the first goal of the game for the Yellow Jackets. Had an assist on the second goal of the game, rather. 10 shots on goal here for her today. So basically, a quarter of the shots that the Yellow Jackets put on net came courtesy of Anna Sherling. She also won 10 faceoffs for the Yellow Jackets and was really the driver for that line offensively, as her, Addison Fee, and Kendall Gustafson combining for 17 shots on goal in the hockey game. So she will be the number 1 star. Number 3, Stevens Point goaltender Annie Beck. Number 2, Ashton Parnell. And the number 1 star is Anna Sherling. Our next Yellow Jacket women's hockey broadcast will come your way on Friday, February 20th. That is a 7 o'clock face-off here at Westman Arena as they play host to Beloit College. It'll be a 7 o'clock face-off and a 6:45 pregame show. Our next sports broadcast on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV is coming your way in just a couple hours from right here at Westman Arena. The Yellow Jacket men's hockey team hoping to follow the same recipe that the women did today. Bounce back from a tough loss and pick up a victory on home ice. They will take on UW Stout. 7:05 face-off. Pregame show coming your way live right here on 91.3 KUWS and Yellow Jacket TV pregame show at 6:30. Final thoughts, Teddy. What do you got?
I'm going to give a big shout out. I love you, Mom.
All right. So, Mom, if she's listening, driving on her way back, Teddy loves you. And that'll be his final thought here for the day. That'll do it.
And I'll see you tonight.
Okay, and maybe he'll see you tonight. That'll do it for this broadcast. We want to thank Bradley Lellis on site here as our producer for Yellow Jacket TV. We want to thank the Gus Bus back at KUWS Radio. For Bradley, for Gus, for Teddy, this is John Garver reminding you final score here this afternoon. Yellow Jacket women's hockey team snaps the skid with a 3-2 victory over UW Stevens Point. Thank you very much for joining us here on this Saturday afternoon. And hey, feel free to stay around and join us tonight for what should be a good hockey game between the Yellow Jacket men and UW Stout. Until then, good night from Superior, Wisconsin.